Yo, what's going on, guys? Back for this Wednesday slate. We have a 6 game slate for tonight. It's a short slate, but it is pretty interesting, so let's get right into it. Before we get started, please be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you have not already. So, baseball has been frustrating over the past week or so. These things just haven't been falling my way. It happens in DFS sometimes, especially with baseball, with it being so volatile. You can research so much for the slate, but then the hitters just don't hit, and all your work can just go down the drain. So that's the kind of thing that's been happening over the past couple days, but it's going to turn around eventually. It always does. The good news is football is around the corner, and speaking of football, my website has just been launched. It's dfsprocess.net if you are interested. So I just wanted to show you guys how it works as we get close to NFL. So first things first, you have to create an account on the website. So you hit the login bar, make an account, and then once you do that, go to the subscribe page, which I'm on right now, and you can purchase whatever you want. And when you do purchase, just read the note here. It says make sure PayPal email and the login email for the site are the same, because that's the only way I'll be able to know who paid and who didn't. So I'll be able to prove everybody that did become a member into all the member only pages for NFL. So I'll be adding all the pages, filling them up as we get close to week 1. So they're all blank right now, but I will be filling them up once preseason ends and we get close to week 1. Also, I mentioned about the full lineups. So I play 1 cash, 1 GPP for NFL. Not doing full lineups, but I will post 7 of the 9 NFL players and leave the 2 up to you guys to fill out for each, my cash and GPP. That way it just works best. So we're all a little bit different, and I'm putting in all that work writing up all the articles. So it'd be nice if people actually read them and made use of them, which I expect they will. But going back to the 6-game slate we have for tonight, first pitcher, I'm going to go through these plays fairly quickly. But Rich Hill at 9,600, he is the top arm of the slate, facing a Brewers team that is not great versus lefties. A lot of the Brewers hitters are lefties themselves, and Rich Hill has been absolutely dominant versus lefties, strikes them out at an insane rate. He has a great strikeout rate, and at 9,600, he's coming off an absolutely amazing start against them. I feel like he has a good shot to repeat that performance here, and at 9,600, looking at the other pitchers we have on the slate today, he is the top arm, especially on DraftKings where you need to roster 2 pitchers. I'm definitely going to have Rich Hill in mind. He has safety with a lot of upside. Second pitcher, I think there's a couple ways you can go, but I like Luke Weaver at 7,000. He is the third cheapest pitcher on the slate, and the cheapest pitcher that I'm willing to go. I'm not willing to roster the 2 guys below him. Weaver, it scares you a bit because he does have a high ceiling, but he also does have a very low floor. A lot of times this year he's gotten you single digits under 5 DraftKings points, but 3 of his last 4 starts, he's been very, very good. And I feel like this is a good spot for him against a Colorado team that strikes out a lot versus right-handed pitching, especially on the road where they're not as dangerous. They average about a full run less per game on the road. They strike out more on the road, and the lineup is not great. The bottom half of the Rockies lineup is not great, with LeMahieu still out. So I feel like the strikeouts will be there. He also gets to face the pitcher, so the strikeouts will be there for Weaver today, and I like the upside that he has at 7,000. For today, I love a White Sox stack. They are the top stack for me. I love picking on Jacob Junis. I love picking on any type of pitcher that surrenders a lot of home runs, and giving up home runs is Junis' specialty. He's given up 25 home runs already this year in just 110 innings. As you see, the White Sox, they roughed him up for 5 home runs. They launched 5 home runs off of Junis earlier this year. And so even though the White Sox offense is not great, they do have a lot of power up and down their lineup. And for a guy that gives up a lot of home runs, I feel like it's a great spot for the White Sox offense to erupt. One of the few times we will see that. So I love first baseman. I love Jose Abreu at 4,100. Price pretty cheap for us at this, given the matchup. He does have more power versus lefties. We all know that, but he's no slouch versus righties. He's hitting over 250. Slugging percentage is 440 against righties. And Junis has just been giving up a ton of home runs to both sides of the plate. So I love all the White Sox hitters today for the most part. Abreu is near the top of my list. Shortstop, I love Manny Machado at 4,800. There's only 2 shortstops that are in good spots today. That's Javier Baez against Kingham and Manny Machado. Machado is $400 cheaper. I like the Dodgers a lot more than I like the Cubs. And just looking besides those two players, we just don't have a lot of guys in good matchups. So I want to take the safety with Manny Machado. He's at 4,800, which is not too expensive for him. He is a reverse splits hitter. This year he's hitting a lot better versus right-handed pitching. And Chase Anderson has given up a lot more home runs and a lot more power to righties, so it's a perfect matchup for Manny Machado. Machado's hitting 320 with a 583 slugging percentage, has a 263 ISO versus righties, and a 406 WOBA, which is insane. And Anderson, like I mentioned, he's a reverse splits pitcher. He's given up a 451 slugging percentage to righties. We know Anderson does struggle with the long ball, especially to righties. Anderson has held lefties to only a 344 slugging this season and a 206 average, but righties have been teeing off on him, and I feel like Machado is a good bet to take one deep against Anderson today. And in the outfield, I'm going to continue rolling with the White Sox, starting off with 4,400 Daniel Palka. Just so much raw power with him. He's been absolutely raking over the past couple weeks, specifically his last 10 games. As you see, he has 4 home runs during the last 10 with a 394 average. He does have the platoon advantage too. So even though Junis has been giving up a lot of home runs to both sides of the plate, Palka has been done a lot more damage to righties, where he has a 515 slugging percentage and a 275 ISO against righties this year. So much power for Palka. Guy projected to hit 5th in the lineup today. Sign me up for that. And then last but not least, I like Avisail Garcia at 4,100. He's been banged up a lot this year. It's one of the reasons why the White Sox offense has not gone off many times. They just haven't been healthy all season. And Garcia is one of, if not their best hitters offensively. He's only played 44 games, but in the games that he has played, he has definitely made an impact. He has 11 home runs in those 44 games, which is 1 every 4 games, which on average in a 162-game season, that means he's on pace for over 40 home runs. So I love Garcia today, facing a guy that struggles against the long ball. The Royals bullpen is absolute trash as well, so I feel like after the White Sox tee off against Junis, they will get a lot of opportunities to tee off against that very weak Royals bullpen. So I have a feeling the White Sox are going to score the most runs on the slate today, and Garcia at 4,100. Sign me up for that. I love me some Garcia today. So those are the 6 plays. If you want to finish off rounding off the White Sox stack, like I'm planning to do, I would play Moncada at second base and Matt Davidson at third base. Davidson, only 3 at-bats against Junis, but he does have 2 home runs during that span, so I like Davidson a lot at third base as well. Those are the plays. Thanks for watching, everybody. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and see you all tomorrow.